Hi, this is Dr. Scott, and today we're going to get into what in the world happened on Monday. I know you're going to see this on Friday, but we're going to talk about the weird stuff happening on Monday. Hey, man, if you're thinking like, man, the world's not happening fast enough, I understand. I get the feeling. I understand that situation all the time, but it's happening. It's just not in the speed that you like it to. Okay. Let me show you several pieces of information that I've kind of collected here. Um, the the left. Sorry, I got to use my glasses here. The left is having a hissy fit that um, the international 17th letter flag is this color, and JD walked up and shook hands with the Pope. And then he killed the Pope. Right. He killed the Pope. Another person said, Kim Runner said, spicy way to start off the week. Yeah, it really is a spicy way to start off the week. Oh my, very, very interesting. And I would tell you this, these kinds of issues, you're focusing on those things are false flag issues. Okay. And we'll talk about the whys they are false flag issues. Okay. But um, we cannot get distracted upon those events because every time you get distracted on false flags, you're focusing, the world's focusing over here. You need to be thinking about possibilities of Iran or something else. And I would say there's also issues of monetary points that are happening as well in the background. Okay. So that's why I think this is a really interesting point. Whether or not it's Iran, it could be something else with that too. And here's another point that I find fascinating that even there's a statement, a phrase of there's a mourning of Pope Francis of 10 days that they tend to put in there. And we also talk about that 10 days of darkness too. Now, listen, do 10 days of darkness, does the 10 days of mourning ends on May 1st? Interesting. Don't know if that's related or not, but that is an interesting point. It refers to the 9-day mourning period, Novendale, observed by the Catholic Church after the Pope's death, known as 10 days of darkness. We're sitting in the middle of that one, aren't we? Okay. And then I put out this video on Twitter and I got flamed. Now, to give you, I'm gonna let you see this video twice
focused
here.
on his prayers for.
Let me pull it back here. Sorry.
Meanwhile, the Pope's festive address focused on his prayers for the pandemic to come to an end. He said vaccines should be made available to those most in need. His death was announced. Excuse me.
What? This was back in 2021. Listen to it again.
Meanwhile, the Pope's festive address focused on his prayers for the pandemic to come to an end. He said vaccines should be made available to those most in need. His death was announced. Excuse me.
Oh, his death was announced. Excuse me. Wait, he what? And it's funnier than spit. I got flamed left and right, calling a conspiracy theorist. Wait a second. What if he's been dead for a long time? Guys, you and I both know that. And here's one this made me laugh like nobody's business. This guy Miggs called me a dumb wit. And I'm like, can't spell here. Alex, I'll take a dumb wit for 400, please. Like, and then someone said, why are you messing with him? Because of the spelling. You're calling me an idiot. And for what? I mean, this is the silliness of the systems, right? I mean, are we missing the points here? And my wife kind of put together a little bit of a statement, and I kind of want to read this. I think this is kind of helpful for many of you kind of look at this. And this is her words, so I'll just kind of talk about it. I'll embellish a little bit of how I might say it here. White hat, black hat, don't know. I suspect the timing is a little bit black hat, part of a satanic ritual premise. We believe, now she's talking about that she and I both believe this is done long ago. She's talking about the TV announcement years ago. There is an evidence of him showing up in a window picture around, this would be 22. He shows up and boom, CGI is gone in the window picture. Okay, and they announce it on April 21st, which is Easter Monday. Now, what I want you to understand too is this is 91 days when we thought, lots of people were talking about, I wasn't talking about this, but lots of people were saying Trump was going to declare martial law on Easter Sunday. Well, wait a second. What if that wasn't the case? What if that was never going to be the case? But what he did is he let the systems of the world start to spin in a new direction. It also correlates to Queen Elizabeth's birthday, the founding of Rome. See, those definitely are situations of black hat kind of things, right? They're ritualistic in their issues, not necessarily rooted in Christianity. They defaced his ring. They smashed it. It's buried inside the church and probably will be later opened up. Okay. He dies at 88 years old. 8 refers to new beginnings. Now, it's so interesting when you do this. This is resurrection, new creation, time for a new pope. I don't believe that we need to have a new pope. Now, here's the funniest point here. Over 800 years ago, there was a Catholic prophecy that this guy, Francis, would be the very last pope. And the end times would occur with Francis. That and that he would be a part of and we would have the end times with that too. Now, no other ones had said and the end times will start after this time frame. Well, I don't care about Catholic prophecies. Other ones had said I've seen other prophecies who had said he was the false prophet, and well, that one just gets destroyed too. Okay, none of those kinds of prophecies mean anything to me. Okay, he was supposedly the last pope. Okay, none of that stuff has any meanings in that way. What we're going to find is there's a bunch of abuse cases that are in the church, and those have the Catholic area with that too. Those have to come out. Okay. Now, we also have at the exact same day Klaus stepping down. Let me show you this issue. And then we notice that Klaus resigns as the chair of the trustees of the WEF. He resigns when he's 88 years old too. Now, there's no timeline for him leaving exactly, but he steps down on this day. There's a search for a new chair. The idiot that is the new that supposedly is the replacement says there's an issue of and I'm using this as an example because I have my water in here. And he says there's going to be a shortage of water. Dude, I'm drinking up my whole bunch of water. Shut up with water issues, right? Guys, this is a show. Our leaders keep stepping in and show us a little bit longer. Vance seeing the Pope, Trump offering his condolences, watching the old guard close. Wealth has been taken. the disclosures of the Catholic Church will surely start. Nearly at the same time, though, there's another video that popped up here. So let me pull off this one, and I want you to hear this one. Oops, sorry. Didn't show it here. Wow, that one didn't show up here. Hold on one second. I had to remove it, put it back on the screen here. It didn't want to load. Sorry about that, guys. It didn't want to load itself. Let's get it to load now.
Is Gitmo still open? Are there any illegal immigrants who have been taken to Guantanamo Bay today, or has that prison been closed?
No, it's wide open. Gitmo is open. There are a number of foreign terrorist aliens that are being housed at Gitmo, awaiting final removal to another destination. But what I want to be very clear on...
Think about that for a second. Why are we talking about El Salvador and illegal aliens? Okay, I just want you to think about that for a second, and I'm going to come back and answer that when we talk about this, right? Why are we talking about those?
How many?
No, I cannot. That's operationally sensitive information.
Dozens or more?
It's a large number. The exact number is operationally sensitive to do with military and other considerations relating to the security of those who are there and the security of those who are operating the facility. But I want to be very, very clear about this, Bill. We've been living through a hoax. Nobody was mistakenly sent to El Salvador. He was ordered...
We've been living through a hoax. Okay.
Deported from this country in 2019. He's an illegal alien. His home nation is El Salvador. That is where he belongs.
Guys, let me show it one more time here because it's so good. It's not even
Is
funny.
Gitmo still open? Are there any illegal immigrants who have been taken to Guantanamo Bay today, or has that prison been closed?
No, it's wide open. Gitmo is open. There are a number of foreign terrorist aliens that are being housed at Gitmo, awaiting final removal to another destination. But what I want to be very clear on...
Can you tell me how many?
No, I cannot. That's operationally sensitive information.
Dozens or more?
It's a large number. The exact number is operationally sensitive to do with military and other considerations relating to the security of those who are there and the security of those who are operating the facility. But I want to be very, very clear about this, Bill. We've been living through a hoax. Nobody was mistakenly sent to El Salvador. He was ordered deported from this country in 2019. He's an illegal alien. His home nation is El Salvador. That is where he belongs.
Okay. Let's talk about that for a half sec. We've been living through a hoax. And they talk about, and I know Tim Pool talked about this just a little bit with a Maryland man. And we're focusing on Maryland man. I get it. I understand. And that's an important part of this. But do you see the false flag narrative here? Yes, it's false flags doesn't mean that there isn't a real situation going on there. Okay, a false flag doesn't mean that it's that real people excuse me, aren't involved. Okay. When 9/11 was occurring, it's a false flag. It didn't mean people didn't die. It just means, and by the way, you want to see a precursor of a false flag event that they talked about, watch a movie called The Long Kiss Goodnight, Long Kiss Goodnight. And in 1996 with Gina Davis, they tell you that the CIA, this is Long Kiss Goodnight, that says the CIA had to come up with a way to get more money, so they had to kill 4,000 people. So they created a Muslim event to kill 4,000 people to make money because of budget cuts. I mean, listen, that is their way of doing a false flag event so that they could have a way to ratchet up the circumstance. 1996, only 5 years away from 9/11. what happens is false flags are pointing over in this direction. They're real events like the illegal aliens. But when you have these other issues of Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, Klaus Schwab, and we'll use that one as as the best example. Klaus Schwab comes to America in World War II. And we say, and he comes to America supposedly as an immigrant from the Nazi regime, and yet we wonder all about him. Was he a Nazi? He more than likely was. He more than likely was part of killing Jews. And so this is a really sick situation that comes out when you really research this circumstance. And so you say, wait a second, does he have dual citizenship? I kid you not. Many of the people who are in Congress and Senate and some of the presidencies of the past have dual citizenship in different countries other than America. So what are we doing when we're deporting some of these people that we have, when Biden let in the 10, 20 million that were in here? What if we are dealing with that issue and we see the Pope dead and we see Klaus coming off the area? So number one, we're seeing the deletion of the Great Reset. At the exact same time frame, Trump was saying, you're going to have to pay back your loans. And let me answer that one because I just got a million questions on that one. The student loan thing's going to go away and NSARA is going to go away. And people were like freaking out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, calm down. Number one, student loans, the small amount of student loans that Biden was pushing forward was only going to be for Great Reset. The Great Reset was supposed to only kill off a certain portion of student loans because what he wanted to get is all the universities to be on the Great Reset side to push toward the woke agenda and have the working class against the woke people, and the woke people would be on the top of the pyramid capabilities, right? And the worker class would be the bottom, right? That most of us would be on the bottom, right? And frankly, people like me, they would just kill me off because I'm not worth anything, because I'm too loud of a voice with that. Now, what Trump was saying is that yes, you have to pay back the loan. And people are like, oh my gosh, this happens. But loan forgiveness and all the debt forgiveness comes with NSARA Jasara systemically. That's number one. Number two, so the woke agenda part is done. Now, secondarily, after NSARA Jasara kind of thing comes in vogue and we see all of the debts wiped out, what will occur is that people will get loans for different types of circumstances. Yes, people will buy houses. People will have a loan to open a new business. That's a good thing down the road. And what will happen is that if they think that there's another debt forgiveness 5 years from now, the answer is, well, wait a second. Oh, I can just get this loan and have it forgiven again. No, Trump is saying you have to pay your loans. He's setting a precedence up. You have to pay your loans. He's making an outward statement. He's brilliant. He's thinking it through. You guys got to be just calm, not be too overthinking this stuff, right? Okay? So What's occurring? He's killing off the Great Reset. The Pope is a part of the illegal immigration, the illegal systems, right? He's telling you the Nancy Pelosi's, all the other ones are in the Gitmo kind of thing. This is the cool part of the systems. This is the Trump capitulation tour that we're seeing. I'm going to be talking about this with Elijah Streams later on today. Oh, guys, it's going to be okay. Trust me, I know you're struggling. I know you're going through tough times. And right now, I just pray over you. I just pray the peace of God that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and mind. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.